The trouble started with a single late-night phone call that no one in the Kirk family expected. A shaky voice on the other end, almost whispering, asked if Charlie had checked on his parents lately. The warning came out of nowhere and left the house heavy with a strange sense of worry. By morning, the story had already slipped beyond the family's control. Rumors spread through small corners of social media, hinting that Charlie's parents were preparing to speak about his marriage in a way that could upend everything he had tried to protect. It sounded absurd, yet the tension in the air felt real. Before long, a claim surfaced that his parents had been holding back something uncomfortable about his wife. The tone of the messages suggested trouble that had been circling the family for months. Friends who visited the Kirks during that period said the house felt different, as if everyone was walking carefully around a subject no one wanted to mention. When the first pieces of the supposed leak appeared, fans were shocked at how quickly the story gained momentum. The words felt too sharp, too personal, as if they had been written in frustration after years of quiet strain. People close to the couple insisted that something must have pushed the older Kirks to their limit. One family friend recalled a tense dinner a few weeks earlier. Charlie tried to keep the conversation light, but his mother kept glancing at her husband with a look that showed she was holding something back. At one point, she set her fork down, looked straight at Charlie, and asked if he ever wondered why she rarely visited his home anymore. Charlie froze, unsure how to answer. His wife looked confused, maybe even offended, but she stayed silent. The moment passed, though no one at the table forgot the way the room seemed to close in around them. By the time word reached the press, the situation had grown far beyond a private disagreement. Comment sections filled with questions. Some demanded to know what pushed the parents to speak up. Others wondered if the marriage itself had been troubled for longer than the public believed. Emotions ran high, especially once a few vague statements from unidentified relatives hinted that the truth, whatever it was, would be even stranger than anyone suspected. The claim that the parents were preparing to reveal a disturbing truth about their daughter-in-law added a layer of unease that spread quickly through Charlie's audience. Inside the family, confusion mixed with rising anger. Friends said Charlie felt blindsided, though he tried to hold himself together in public. His wife, on the other hand, wanted answers. She went from disbelief to frustration within days, insisting that someone inside the family was trying to paint her in the worst possible light. Each time she asked Charlie what he planned to do, he struggled to respond. He kept saying he needed time, yet time was the one thing slipping away. That was the moment the drama began to grow. The parents were silent, the couple was strained, and people following the story could sense something unraveling beneath the surface. What they did not know was that the first leak had been only a hint of what was coming next, and the twists ahead would push the family into the kind of conflict no one imagined at the beginning. Charlie thought the noise would fade in a day or two, but the situation grew heavier each hour. The first whispers about his parents' supposed leak had already stirred confusion. Yet the real storm started when a close friend of the family reached out with an urgent warning. She said the older Kirks were preparing to speak publicly, and she claimed it had something to do with a night they had tried to forget. That message arrived while Charlie was still trying to understand why his mother had been so distant. For years she had been the calm one, the one who kept peace. But lately her tone carried something closer to quiet resentment. The shift unsettled him, though he convinced himself it would blow over if he stayed patient. His wife, however, reached a different conclusion. She believed someone in the family had been stirring resentment against her for a long time. She felt targeted, and she did not hide it. Whenever the phone buzzed with a new rumor, her expression tightened. She paced through the living room as if the walls were closing in on her. She kept asking the same question: who would want to hurt them like this? Each time Charlie tried to calm her, she pulled away. She accused him of treating her concerns lightly, which only deepened the tension that had been quietly building between them for months. The chatter outside their home grew louder. Fans were shocked by how quickly the situation escalated, especially when a short voice message began circling among gossip pages. The voice sounded tired and emotional. Listeners debated whether it belonged to Charlie's mother or someone pretending to be her. The message spoke of disappointment, of something hidden for too long, and of a fear that Charlie did not truly know the woman he married. Nothing specific was stated, yet the tone carried a weight that pushed the story into stranger territory. Charlie listened to the message again and again, trying to decide whether the voice belonged to his mother. His wife listened too, though her reaction was sharper. She declared immediately that the voice was fake, claiming the entire situation was a setup designed to humiliate her. She said someone wanted to destroy their marriage, piece by piece. She said she could feel it. She insisted the leak had nothing to do with his parents and everything to do with outsiders who disliked her influence on Charlie's life. Despite her confidence, Her hands trembled each time she picked up her phone. What troubled Charlie most was the silence from his parents. They had always responded quickly to him, but now they seemed to disappear. His messages went unread. His calls rang until they stopped. The emptiness of their silence amplified every rumor. Friends began offering their own interpretations. Some said the parents were hurt by the way the couple lived. Others said they felt excluded. A few believed there had been a private confrontation months earlier that left the family divided. The more Charlie heard, the more confused he became. He tried to remember every small disagreement, every awkward moment, any detail that could explain why his parents might be preparing to expose something personal. Then came the night that pulled the situation into a deeper level of chaos. Charlie received a text from an unknown number. The sender claimed to have seen his parents earlier that evening. They described the older Kirks as tense and emotional, and they claimed his mother had been holding a thick envelope of documents. The sender wrote that she appeared distressed, repeating something about not wanting to stay silent anymore. The text ended with a simple warning written in uppercase, as if to make the message harder to ignore. They know something and they won't hide it. Charlie showed the message to his wife, and her reaction surprised him. Instead of panicking, she grew angry. She demanded that they drive to his parents' home immediately. She said she was tired of being treated like an outsider and that she deserved to know the truth straight from them. Charlie hesitated. It was already late, and he did not want to show up unannounced, especially when the family felt so fragile, but she insisted with a force that startled him. Her voice rose. She said she was done being quiet. She said she was tired of being blamed for every problem in the family. She said it was time they faced the truth. Reluctantly, Charlie agreed. The drive there felt longer than usual. A heavy silence filled the car. Streetlights passed them in slow flashes, casting pale shadows across the dashboard. Charlie kept glancing over, trying to read her expression. She stared ahead, her hands tightly gripping her seatbelt. She looked determined, but beneath that determination, he sensed fear. He wondered what she expected to hear. He wondered what his parents could possibly have against her that would justify the level of emotion spreading through the rumor mill. When they reached the house, the lights were off. Charlie felt uneasy as they walked up the steps. He knocked on the door, but there was no answer. The night felt strangely quiet, and the silence around the home carried an unsettling energy. His wife urged him to try again. He knocked harder. Still nothing. She suggested they check through the window. Charlie resisted at first, feeling the line between concern and intrusion blurring, but she insisted with growing urgency. When they looked inside, they saw the living room in disarray. Papers scattered across the table, an open laptop frozen on a bright screen, an empty glass tipped on its side. Charlie's heart tightened. He called his father's phone immediately. It rang inside the house, muffled by distance, confirming that they had not taken it with them. Something felt wrong. His wife whispered that they should call someone. Charlie tried to stay calm. He suggested they check the back door first, before alerting the police or neighbors. They walked along the side of the house, the air colder than before. The moonlight revealed a small window that had been left slightly open. Charlie reached up and tried to push it further. It moved. He climbed through, careful not to knock down the frame, and helped his wife enter after him. Inside, the atmosphere felt thick, as if the room held its breath. Charlie called out softly, hoping to hear footsteps or a voice from another room. Nothing. As they stepped into the hallway, his wife pointed toward the dining room. There was a stack of letters on the table, most of them unopened. One envelope stood out because of its torn corner, as if someone had opened it in a hurry. Charlie picked it up. Inside, he found a printed note. It contained only one sentence, typed in bold letters. "He doesn't know what you did." Charlie stared at the words, stunned. His wife's breath caught beside him. She whispered that the message must be meant for her. She asked what it was supposed to mean. Her voice trembled for the first time that night. Charlie did not know what to say. He read the sentence again, trying to make sense of it. The phrasing suggested two possibilities. Either someone believed she had done something behind Charlie's back, or his parents discovered something from her past that she never told him. Neither option brought comfort. Before they could discuss it, they heard a noise from the front of the house. Footsteps, a soft metallic sound, like a key brushing against the lock. Charlie's wife gripped his arm tightly. They stood still, waiting for whoever was coming in. The door opened slowly, and a faint beam of light cut across the floor. The shadow of a person appeared on the wall. When the figure stepped inside, Charlie exhaled in relief. It was his father, but the relief did not last. The expression on his father's face was not warm, nor was it confused. It was tense, guarded, and strangely tired. He froze when he saw them. His eyes shifted to the torn note in Charlie's hand. His wife stepped forward, asking what the message meant. The older man hesitated, as if weighing whether he should speak. Finally, he said something that turned the room cold. He told them they should not be here tonight. He said they were not ready for the truth. He said too much damage had already been done. His wife demanded to know what he was talking about. Her voice cracked. His father looked at her with a mixture of frustration and sorrow, and for a moment it seemed like he might explain everything, but instead, he told Charlie that the situation was bigger than a simple misunderstanding. He said there were things Charlie needed to see for himself, and he warned him that the truth would not be easy. Charlie tried to ask more, but his father shook his head. He said they would talk in the morning. He insisted they leave the house immediately. Something in his tone told Charlie that pushing further would only lead to more conflict. His wife wanted to argue, but Charlie pulled her back gently, guiding her toward the door. She kept asking why they were being sent away, but no one answered. As they stepped outside, the cold night air hit them again, though this time it felt sharper. She turned to Charlie with wide eyes, asking if he realized what his father implied. She said they were hiding something serious. She said the message in the note proved it. She said this was no longer about rumors. This was about a secret his parents believed she kept from him. Charlie tried to calm her, but she pulled back, insisting that the only way to fix this was to uncover the truth as soon as possible. She said they could not wait until morning. Charlie looked at the dark windows of the house as his father locked the door behind them. The sense of mystery deepened. The weight of the night pressed on his chest. Whatever happened next would depend on the clues they managed to uncover, and he realized the conflict had only just begun. The car felt colder when they sat inside. She reached for her phone and began searching for anything that might connect to the note they found. Charlie watched her, wondering if she was searching for answers or trying to hide something. He wanted to trust her. He wanted to believe that his parents misunderstood something, yet the tension in her movements raised questions he did not want to ask. They drove away slowly, leaving the house behind, unaware that the events of the next day would draw them even deeper into the unraveling secret that threatened to tear the family apart. The next morning, the tension that had filled the night did not fade. Charlie tried to focus on work, but every notification on his phone felt like a new threat. Fans were already speculating wildly online, some claiming that his parents were planning to expose his wife for things from her past. The comments grew vicious, accusing, and chaotic. Charlie scrolled through them, his stomach tightening. His wife paced behind him, repeating that she could not believe the family would betray them in this way. She said it was personal, targeted, and it would not end unless they confronted it head. Charlie's father called mid. His voice was firm, clipped, but carried a strange undertone. He said he needed to see Charlie and his wife later that day, alone, at a neutral location. The insistence was enough to worry Charlie. He asked what the meeting was about, but his father refused to elaborate. He said only that it was necessary, and that avoiding it would make matters worse. His wife's face turned pale when Charlie relayed the message. She gripped his arm and said she would not go into a trap. She said she needed to know what they were hiding before stepping anywhere. Charlie tried to calm her, assuring her that it was just a conversation. Still, the edge in her voice betrayed her fear. By mid-afternoon, they arrived at a small, quiet cafe several blocks from the family home. His parents were already there, sitting in a corner booth, faces serious, eyes fixed on the door as they entered. Charlie's mother's hands shook slightly as she stirred her coffee. Charlie's father simply nodded, motioning them to sit. The air was thick with tension. Charlie could feel the silence pressing down on him. His wife sat close, her fingers intertwined with his, a subtle attempt at reassurance. The first words came from his mother, soft but deliberate. She said she did not want to hurt anyone, but something had to be said. She looked directly at his wife and paused. The weight in her gaze made Charlie shift uncomfortably in his seat. She said that they had been keeping a secret, one that concerned her. Her voice wavered, as though she feared the very reaction she was about to provoke. Charlie tried to interject, but she raised a hand, insisting that he listen first. She described events from months earlier, small things that seemed insignificant at first, but, in her eyes, had accumulated into a troubling pattern. She spoke of late-night calls, unexplained absences, and interactions with people they could not identify. She said she had tried to overlook it, believing in Charlie's judgment, but eventually the tension became unbearable. Charlie's wife's expression hardened. She scoffed softly, insisting she had nothing to hide. The mother shook her head, tears threatening to fall. She said it was not just about hiding, it was about honesty, about intentions, and the consequences of actions that could affect the entire family. Charlie's father then leaned forward, his hands folded. He said he had always admired his daughter-in-law, but he could not ignore the signs any longer. He described instances where he felt she had manipulated situations subtly, casting blame when things went wrong, diverting attention from herself. Charlie's wife's face flushed with anger. She snapped that his accusations were ridiculous, that she had done nothing but support their son. Charlie tried to intervene, his voice low, pleading for calm. The cafe seemed to shrink around them as the emotions escalated. The argument grew heated. Voices rose. Charlie's mother admitted she had shared some private messages with a close friend to get perspective, which was how the initial leak had started. Charlie's wife accused the parents of trying to ruin her life, of creating a narrative that did not exist. Her tone sharpened. She demanded proof. She asked why no one spoke directly to her about these alleged issues before. Charlie's father admitted they had tried, but said every attempt at a conversation had been met with defensiveness, leaving them feeling unheard and dismissed. At one point, the barista walked past, glancing awkwardly at the group. Charlie noticed the subtle judgment in her eyes, the unspoken curiosity. He felt embarrassed, but the heat of the moment was impossible to ignore. His wife leaned closer to him, whispering that she would not let them control the story. She said she had the right to defend herself. Charlie nodded but felt torn. He wanted peace, yet every word exchanged seemed to dig the hole deeper. His father then produced a small folder. Inside were printed conversations and screenshots. Charlie's mother looked down at them, shame flickering across her face. She said it was not meant to humiliate, only to illustrate patterns of behavior that worried them. Charlie's wife grabbed a few of the pages. She scanned them, her hands trembling. Then she laughed, sharp and bitter. She claimed the documents were selectively edited, twisted to create a false narrative. She accused the parents of betrayal, of being willing to sacrifice family bonds for suspicion and fear. Her eyes burned with fury. Charlie could not remember a time he had seen her like this, angry, unyielding, almost feral in her need to be believed. Charlie's mother began to cry quietly. She said she never wanted the family to fracture. She said she loved them both and that her intention was never to start a public scandal. She said she feared the silence had grown too long, misinterpretations were spiraling out of control. Charlie's wife, however, did not relent. She said the damage was done the moment messages leaked online, and that no one could take it back. She demanded accountability. She said that if the parents truly cared, they would acknowledge their role in creating the tension and apologize. The conversation spiraled. Charlie tried multiple times to mediate, but each attempt failed. His parents dug in, defending their perspective, insisting that their concern was genuine. His wife fired back, pointing out inconsistencies and questioning motives. Charlie felt trapped in the middle. The stress weighed on him, and he realized that the situation had shifted from a family disagreement to a confrontation with real emotional stakes. It was no longer just private whispers, it had become a conflict with lasting consequences. Suddenly, his mother blurted out something that made both Charlie and his wife freeze. She said she had spoken with someone from his wife's past, someone who had witnessed events that Charlie's wife had never disclosed. She claimed that this person had confirmed certain behaviors, which in her mind, justified their concern. Charlie's wife stood abruptly, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. She yelled that these were lies, fabrications meant to destroy her. She accused them of colluding with outsiders, of bringing strangers into their private lives to tarnish her reputation. The cafe went silent. People nearby glanced over, sensing the tension but not fully understanding it. Charlie's heart pounded. He did not know how to calm the escalating storm. His father raised his voice for the first time, insisting that they were acting in Charlie's best interest. He said he had hoped the couple could understand, that they could have a civil discussion. He admitted frustration had clouded his judgment, but he stood firm on the core of his claims. Charlie's wife countered, pointing out past decisions Charlie's father had made that had hurt family members, asking why they were immune from scrutiny. She said the family had a long history of secrecy, and now it was her turn to defend herself. The tension thickened, every word feeling like a new wound being opened. Charlie's mind raced. He wanted resolution, but every sentence spoken seemed to deepen the divide. He tried to suggest a solution, a pause, maybe returning home and talking privately later. Both sides refused. Emotions ran high, accusations flew, and the air seemed almost unbearable. Charlie's wife's voice trembled, then rose to a shout, as she demanded that the parents clarify exactly what they believed she had done. His mother's face paled. She said the truth was more complicated than they could say in one sitting. She suggested they needed time, and that continuing now would only escalate harm. But time had already been lost. The leaks online continued. Fan speculation intensified. Messages poured in, offering theories, some accusing his wife of deceit, some defending her, and some blaming Charlie for failing to maintain peace. The family was left divided, not just inside the cafe, but in the eyes of the public. Charlie felt powerless, watching the drama unfold beyond his control. While the emotional toll threatened to break the fragile bonds between everyone in the room, the argument slowly wound down, but no resolution emerged. Charlie's wife, still trembling with anger, insisted they leave immediately. She said that staying any longer would only give his parents more leverage. Charlie's father tried one last appeal, saying they should at least discuss the situation calmly later. She shook her head, firm. She said she could not trust them until they acknowledged the full extent of the harm caused by the leak. Charlie caught her hand as they left, feeling the weight of his impossible position, caught between the love for his family and the rising fury of the woman he had promised to protect. Outside, the afternoon sun offered no comfort. The streets felt brighter than the mood in the car. Charlie's wife sat quietly, staring at passing cars, lost in thought. Charlie drove, unsure what to say. The words he wanted to use felt inadequate. The confrontation had revealed truths, half-truths, and assumptions that none of them could fully control. He realized that the next steps would determine not only the future of his marriage, but the stability of the family. Every glance in the rearview mirror reminded him of the tension left behind in that cafe, a tension that would follow them relentlessly in the days to come. The first phase of confrontation was over, but the deeper story had only begun to unfold. The stakes were higher, emotions raw, and no one could predict how the coming revelations would change the relationships that had already been shaken to the core. The night that followed was restless. Charlie's wife could not sleep, pacing through their bedroom while Charlie sat on the edge of the bed, staring blankly at the floor. Every time the phone buzzed with a notification, she jumped, expecting more leaks, more accusations, more hints of betrayal. Charlie tried to reassure her, but his own mind was racing. He kept replaying the cafe confrontation, the tension, the words, the note, the folder of documents. Nothing about the night offered clarity, only more questions. What had his parents really uncovered? Who had contacted them? And why did it feel like the walls were closing in from all sides? The next morning, news of the confrontation had already started circulating online. Social media posts hinted at discord between Charlie, his wife, and his parents. Fans were shocked. Some defended his wife, claiming she had done nothing wrong. Others speculated that Charlie's parents had uncovered a shocking secret. The speculation was endless, and the couple felt like their private lives were under a microscope. Charlie's wife slammed her hand on the counter, exclaiming that it was unfair, that their lives were being twisted into a spectacle for strangers. Charlie remained silent, knowing that anything he said could be taken out of context. The weight of the public's gaze pressed down on them both. Midday brought another message, this time from Charlie's uncle. It was cryptic, almost urgent, stating that there were more documents, more information, and that the family's history was far more entangled than anyone realized. Charlie's wife read the message aloud, her voice trembling. She said it confirmed her worst fears. This was bigger than just her relationship with Charlie. The family itself was hiding layers of secrets, and somehow she had been dragged into them. Charlie tried to calm her, reminding her that assumptions could be dangerous, but she shook her head. She said it was impossible to ignore. She said they needed to act fast before rumors spread even further. Later that afternoon, they received a call from a distant cousin, who claimed to have attended a family gathering where Charlie's parents spoke in private. The cousin's tone was hesitant, almost fearful. He said that the older Kirks had expressed disappointment in Charlie's wife, alleging behaviors that were manipulative, deceitful, and sometimes reckless. Charlie's wife froze. She demanded examples, explanations, anything that could prove the claims false. The cousin admitted he only overheard fragments, but the insinuation was enough to ignite a storm of emotions. Charlie's wife slammed her phone onto the counter, shouting that this was slander, that no one had the right to judge her without evidence. Charlie held her hand, feeling the tremor of anger and fear in her grip. In the days that followed, the tension escalated. Charlie noticed subtle changes in his parents' behavior. They called less frequently, their emails grew formal, their tone distant. When he did see them, conversations were brief, polite, but heavy with unspoken words. He tried to probe gently, but every question seemed to skirt the truth. His wife insisted that they confront the parents directly, that they demand answers now rather than wait for more speculation. Charlie wanted to delay, fearing that confrontation would only inflame the situation. But her insistence grew stronger with each passing day. Finally, they arranged a second meeting at another neutral location, a quiet park cafe where the background noise could mask their conversation. Charlie's parents arrived together, faces tense but controlled. The moment they sat down, the air thickened with anticipation. His wife immediately asked why the previous night had ended without answers. His father sighed, setting his coffee down, and said that explaining everything at once could be overwhelming. Charlie's mother nodded in agreement, her eyes red from weeks of emotional strain. She said the truth was complicated, and that revealing it required careful consideration. Charlie's wife's patience wore thin. She slammed her hand on the table, demanding clarity. The surrounding patrons glanced over, sensing the heightened drama. His father began by recounting events from years ago, subtle actions and patterns that they claimed indicated hidden motives. He spoke of interactions Charlie's wife had with certain people, discrepancies in timelines, and private exchanges that had raised suspicion. Charlie's wife interrupted repeatedly, insisting the accounts were exaggerated or fabricated. She accused the family of being judgmental and unfair. Charlie tried to mediate, his voice calm, urging patience, but each interruption only fueled the tension. The cafe seemed to shrink around them, the weight of unspoken accusations pressing down. Charlie's mother then revealed something more personal. Letters she had found that seemed to contradict the explanations given by Charlie's wife in the past. The letters were ambiguous but suggestive, hinting at intentions that the parents interpreted as deceitful. Wife scanned them, eyes narrowing. She argued that the letters were misread, that the interpretation was intentionally skewed. She demanded a full review, insisting that assumptions alone could not dictate judgment. The parents' expressions shifted slightly, caught between fear of confrontation and frustration at the lack of acknowledgement for their concerns. Voices rose again. Charlie's wife accused them of creating a narrative that painted her as the villain. She said she had sacrificed for Charlie, supported him, and yet the family treated her with suspicion. His father countered, asserting that their concern was not about blame but about patterns they observed over time. He claimed they had tried to communicate concerns respectfully but were met with resistance. Charlie's wife's eyes flashed. She accused them of deceit, of colluding with outsiders to fabricate stories. Charlie gripped her hand, aware that each accusation further strained the fragile connection between his parents and himself. A sharp twist came when his father revealed an email thread between Charlie's wife and someone from her past. The emails suggested that certain decisions had been made without informing Charlie, which his parents interpreted as concealment. Charlie's wife snatched the phone, scanning the messages. She laughed bitterly, claiming the emails were harmless, taken out of context, and misrepresented. She demanded proof that any action had caused real harm. The parents remained firm, asserting that the pattern mattered more than individual instances. Charlie's voice caught in his throat. He realized this confrontation was becoming about perception, intent, and control, rather than simple facts. As the hours passed, emotions ran high. Charlie's wife grew increasingly frustrated, alternating between anger and tears. She insisted that she had been loyal, transparent, and supportive. Charlie's mother pleaded for understanding, explaining that the family's intention was never to humiliate, only to warn, to protect, and to guide. Charlie's father admitted that the line between protection and intrusion had blurred. Charlie listened, torn between defending his wife and understanding his parents' perspective. He felt trapped in the tension, unable to resolve the conflict with mere words. A dramatic turn occurred when Charlie's mother disclosed a conversation with a mutual friend, someone who had observed interactions the family could not see firsthand. This friend reportedly confirmed certain behaviors that corroborated the parents' suspicions. Charlie's wife reacted violently, yelling that these were lies, fabrications, and that the friend had been misled. Charlie's father tried to calm the situation, suggesting they pause, but Charlie's wife refused. She claimed that silence now meant complicity, that the family was trying to manipulate her and Charlie. She demanded immediate acknowledgement of the misinterpretation and an apology. By late afternoon, the confrontation had stretched into hours. Fatigue set in, but neither side relented. Charlie's wife insisted on a private review of documents, screenshots, and messages. His parents reluctantly agreed, producing folders, phone logs, and correspondence. Each document sparked further debate, with interpretations clashing violently. Charlie attempted to mediate repeatedly, his calm voice often drowned out by accusations and emotional outbursts. The cafe patrons had long turned their attention elsewhere, but the intensity of the drama made it impossible for Charlie or his wife to remain composed. Toward evening, a moment of shocking revelation emerged. Charlie's father admitted that there had been conversations with legal counsel. Discussions about the potential consequences if the alleged patterns continued unchecked. The words hung heavy in the air. Charlie's wife's face turned pale. She accused them of escalation, of turning suspicion into strategy. Charlie tried to intervene, reminding everyone that interpretation did not equal intent. His mother shook her head, tears falling freely now. She said she feared the secrecy had grown too deep, and that continued silence might create irreparable damage. The tension escalated, each word heavier than the last. The couple left the cafe exhausted, emotionally drained, but more determined than ever. Charlie's wife insisted that nothing would derail their plan to uncover the truth. She said she would not allow anyone to manipulate the narrative, and that she expected Charlie to stand firmly beside her. Charlie, though torn, nodded. He felt the weight of responsibility pressing on him, balancing the love for his wife and the respect for his parents. The confrontation had revealed layers of suspicion, miscommunication, and hidden concerns that neither side could ignore. The story, the rumors, the tension, it was only beginning. And the next moves would define the outcome of this turbulent family drama. The following morning brought no relief. Charlie's wife awoke with a sharp sense of unease, still replaying the confrontation in her mind. She moved silently around the bedroom, glancing at her phone every few minutes. Notifications had multiplied overnight. The rumors online had intensified, fueled by anonymous sources claiming inside knowledge of the family conflict. Fans were shocked, divided into camps, some defending her, others condemning her. Charlie noticed the tension in her jaw, the way her hands gripped her phone like it held the answers to a life-or-death secret. He tried to calm her, suggesting a plan to approach the situation strategically. But she shook her head, insisting that waiting any longer would only worsen the damage. Charlie's father called shortly after breakfast, his voice measured, attempting to sound neutral. He requested another meeting, stating it was imperative to clarify the facts once and for all. Charlie's wife's reaction was immediate. She refused. She said she would not sit across from people who had publicly questioned her integrity, without providing evidence that could exonerate or implicate her conclusively. Charlie tried to reason with her, explaining that avoiding dialogue might intensify suspicion, but her insistence on self-protection prevailed. The room became a battlefield of wills, Charlie caught in the middle, balancing loyalty, love, and duty. Mid-morning brought an unexpected visitor, a mutual family friend who claimed to have additional insight. He arrived, unannounced, eyes wide, breathless, carrying a thick envelope. He said he had overheard a private discussion between Charlie's parents and another relative, revealing details that could shake the foundations of the household. Charlie's wife seized the envelope immediately, scanning the contents. She exclaimed, her voice rising, that the information was far more disturbing than anything previously shared. Charlie's father's worst fears seemed to be validated. The contents were accurate. The narrative spun online was only a fraction of the truth. The documents included messages, photographs, and personal notes that suggested long-standing tensions. Some referenced events Charlie's wife had never disclosed. Others were interpretations of interactions, conversations, and private gestures taken out of context. Charlie's wife argued fiercely that these documents were misleading, that assumptions had been injected into innocent actions, that selective memory was being weaponized. She demanded clarification from Charlie's parents directly. But Charlie knew that further confrontation could escalate emotions into uncontrollable conflict. He tried to intervene quietly, suggesting they all take a step back. But both sides ignored him, the drama intensifying like a storm with no forecast. Around noon, the couple decided to take a short walk, hoping distance and fresh air might calm frayed nerves. Charlie's wife's mind, however, raced. She speculated about motives, about hidden alliances, about the origin of the leaked documents. She whispered to Charlie that the family's actions were deliberate, coordinated, and perhaps even strategic. Charlie listened, noting her anxiety and anger, realizing that the conflict was no longer about minor disagreements but about perception, reputation, and control. The stress was palpable, and the emotional undercurrent between them heightened with every step. Later that afternoon, Charlie received an unexpected message from a distant cousin, who claimed to have witnessed a secret meeting between his parents and a former acquaintance of Charlie's wife. The cousin's tone was urgent, suggesting that sensitive information had been exchanged, possibly misrepresented. Charlie showed the message to his wife, whose eyes narrowed. She said that this confirmed her suspicions. There was an orchestrated effort to paint her in a negative light. She declared that she would confront the situation head-on, that she would expose any attempt to manipulate public opinion or private perception. Charlie, though supportive, feared that confrontation might push tempers to dangerous extremes. By evening, the couple had returned home, the weight of the day settling over them like a storm cloud. Charlie's wife insisted on reviewing all messages, documents, and communications related to the situation. She sat at the kitchen table, papers spread around her, phone in hand, laptop open. She scrutinized every line, every photo, every time. Charlie watched, amazed by her determination. She declared repeatedly that she would not be misrepresented, that the family's claims would be examined rigorously. He admired her resolve, yet worried about the toll it was taking on her mental state. Emotions ran high, and exhaustion was evident, but her focus never wavered. The next morning, Charlie's parents requested yet another meeting. Charlie's wife agreed, determined to defend herself while uncovering the truth. The meeting took place at a private location, far from public scrutiny. Tension was thick as Charlie and his wife arrived. The parents were already seated, looking solemn. The first words were careful, measured, but the air was electric. Charlie's wife wasted no time, immediately asking for precise explanations regarding accusations, interpretations, and alleged manipulation. Charlie's father began recounting events and observations, his tone trying to balance concern and authority. Charlie's wife's responses were sharp, assertive, and sometimes confrontational. Voices escalated quickly, emotions flared, and the intensity of the conflict was palpable. As the discussion unfolded, Charlie's mother disclosed a surprising detail. She had been approached by someone, claiming knowledge of a past situation involving Charlie's wife, which she interpreted as confirmation of deception. Charlie's wife's eyes widened. She shouted that these were falsehoods, fabrications meant to malign her character. Charlie interjected, urging calm, but both sides ignored his attempt to mediate. The conversation spiraled, accusations and defenses ricocheting in rapid succession. Each revelation brought more tension, more questions, more uncertainty. Charlie felt trapped, caught between the love for his wife and the respect for his parents. The emotional weight was crushing. A dramatic twist occurred when his father revealed an email from an unknown sender, implying that Charlie's wife had orchestrated certain events to her advantage. The email contained suggestions of manipulations, half-truths, and selective narratives. Charlie's wife snatched the device, scanning the contents. She argued vehemently that the email was fabricated, a deliberate attempt to inflame the situation. The parents remained firm, insisting on the legitimacy of the source. Charlie's wife's frustration peaked. She declared loudly that she would not be controlled or misrepresented, that no one had the right to question her intentions without irrefutable proof. The atmosphere crackled with tension, the stakes higher than ever. By nightfall, the confrontation had exhausted everyone involved. Charlie's wife insisted on leaving immediately, unwilling to stay in a situation where trust had eroded so significantly. Charlie accompanied her, torn between anger, loyalty, and fear. As they stepped into the night, the tension seemed to follow, the unresolved conflict looming large over their relationship and the family. Every glance, every step, felt weighted with the consequences of the day's revelations. Charlie realized that the coming days would be decisive, that secrets, perceptions, and accusations would collide in ways none of them could fully predict. The storm of emotions, miscommunication, and suspicion was far from over, and the family drama had only intensified, setting the stage for revelations that could shatter relationships entirely. As the dust settled, the family drama remained unresolved. Charlie and his wife had survived confrontation after confrontation, yet the tension still lingered, like a storm cloud refusing to dissipate. Secrets, accusations, and half-truths had surfaced, leaving everyone questioning motives, loyalty, and trust. The leaks, the messages, the confrontations, they had not just created a spectacle for fans online, they had exposed the raw vulnerabilities of relationships, the fragility of trust, and the unpredictability of human emotion. Fans were shocked, sharing theories, debating loyalties, and speculating endlessly. The family was left divided, emotions raw, and the story far from finished. Charlie sat quietly in their home, reflecting on the chaos. He thought about the love he felt for his wife, the complex history with his parents, and the public scrutiny that made every personal decision a potential headline. He realized that controlling the narrative was impossible. The only thing he could do was stand firm, seek clarity, and protect those he loved. His wife, equally determined, reviewed every piece of evidence, planning her next move with precision. She was angry, hurt, and yet unwavering in her resolve. She knew that proving her integrity was essential not just for herself, but for the stability of their marriage. The emotions ran high, yet amidst the fury and fear, there was a glimmer of strength, a determination that no rumor or accusation could fully shake. The drama had revealed unexpected sides of everyone involved. Charlie's parents, though criticized and challenged, had acted from a place of concern, fear, and desire to protect. Their actions, though controversial, were deeply entwined with their perception of truth. Charlie's wife, on the other hand, had demonstrated resilience, intelligence, and a refusal to be misrepresented. The emotional conflicts highlighted the human tendency to misinterpret actions, the power of assumptions, and the consequences of secrecy. Every word exchanged, every accusation made, had consequences that rippled beyond the immediate confrontation, affecting family dynamics, personal relationships, and public perception. Fans continued to react, sharing opinions, dissecting the details, and questioning who was in the right. The conversations online reflected the chaos of the situation, echoing the uncertainty and intensity of the real-life conflict. Charlie and his wife realized that navigating this storm required not only communication and transparency but also emotional resilience. They understood that some truths could not be controlled, and that public opinion, while influential, could never fully define personal integrity. The challenge was immense, but the lessons were undeniable. Clarity, honesty, and steadfastness were essential in the face of relentless scrutiny. In this complex landscape of drama, secrets, and revelations, Charlie and his wife made a silent pact. They would move forward, together, confronting challenges head-on, while refusing to be controlled by rumor or speculation. They would document, clarify, and protect, ensuring that the narrative reflected their truth. The tension remained, unresolved yet manageable, a reminder that family dynamics are rarely simple, that trust must be earned, and that resilience is forged in the fires of conflict. The story was far from over, and every new revelation had the potential to redefine relationships, alliances, and perceptions. And now, it's your turn. We want to know what you think. Do you believe Charlie's parents were justified in their concerns, or was his wife's response completely reasonable? Who do you side with? Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided, but your opinion matters. Comment below with your take on the drama, share your thoughts on how the situation should be resolved, and weigh in on the tension that has gripped the Kirks. Your insights could be part of the conversation that shapes the next chapter of this explosive story. Don't forget to hit like if you were captivated by the confrontation, the leaks, and the heated exchanges. Subscribe for more shocking insights, exclusive updates, and behind-the-scenes drama you won't hear anywhere else. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next explosive development in Charlie Kirk's family saga. Every comment, every share, every like adds to the conversation, helping us explore the complex layers of loyalty, suspicion, and emotional conflict that define this unbelievable story. Fans are divided, questions remain, and the next twist could be just around the corner. Stay tuned, because this is far from over. The drama, the revelations, and the shocking truths are still unfolding. Your engagement keeps the story alive, giving voice to those who are watching, speculating, and reacting in real. Share your perspective, join the discussion, and let us know, who do you trust in this unfolding family saga? The tension is palpable, the stakes are high, and the next chapter could change everything. Don't miss a moment, because in this story, every detail matters, and every reaction counts. Fans are watching, emotions are raw, and the family drama continues to shock, surprise, and captivate audiences worldwide.